Hey folks, what's going on? I am Ant Pruitt. Hope you're doing well. I'm unbelievable as always. It's a little hot today here in the sunny South, but I probably shouldn't mention that as I have a Texas man here joining me today, and he's probably going to be like, hot, whatever, man.
It's hot today.
I got my man, Mr. Aaron Kasten from Ideaa or Ideaa. How do I go about saying that the right way, Aaron?
Ideaa. I mean, just like you would.
Yeah. All right. Ideaa. How you doing, man?
I'm doing really well. I hadn't seen you since, I guess, San Francisco a couple of months ago, but it's nice to reconnect, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Yes, definitely. I was able to meet up with Mr. Kasten out at the Google I/O Extended event there in San Francisco, and I got to tell you, I've been to the I/O Extended before. I went to the one last year that you guys hosted, and the experience just blew my mind. And I don't think people really understood how I felt about it, because everybody was thinking, you're going to Google I/O, you're going to Google I/O. And I said, no, I have to make that clear. I didn't have that quote unquote golden ticket for Google I/O, but what I experienced at the Extended, I just thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a different type of energy there, and everyone was excited about it and watching the live stream. And then it was just people hanging out and nerding out about it, and I loved it. Unfortunately, I didn't get to stay long last year. I pretty much came out for that one day and left the next morning. You know, it was rough, but I had a good time. And so I said, this year I'm going out there, and if I don't get the golden ticket, I'm looking for an extended event there too. And I was glad to see that you guys had an event going for us. Tell us a little bit about Ideaa and what do you guys do?
So Ideaa is a brand new nonprofit. It started as BigAndroidBBQ, but this year we converted to Ideaa, a 501c3, nonprofit, also registered in Texas. The name is International Developer Education and Advocacy Alliance,
Nice.
Or Ideaa. It just is easier to say Ideaa. We've been doing the BigAndroidBBQ this is going to be our 6th year, and we're growing it and trying to figure out the best way to continue to grow that organization and that event and go beyond just that one event. And Ideaa kind of came up. We talked about going nonprofit a couple of times. It seemed like a good fit for us with our goals of creating these events that are very cost effective, very low barrier of entry for our attendees.
Right.
I think that's one thing that's really unique about our events is we don't have an event that costs over $100 for the basic ticket. So you can get to all of our events or any event for under $100, which was pretty unheard of, especially for the BigAndroidBBQ, which is a 2-day conference with 40 plus sessions, speakers from Google and Facebook and Cyanogen and all the Samsung and HTC, all these really great speakers come out, and if you compare that to any of the other 2-day conferences in that kind of same field, you're looking at $400 to thousands of dollars for tickets. And so I think we've really kind of, I don't know, accepted our niche and embraced it, and have decided to go and take that beyond just one event, the BigAndroidBBQ, and try to do some other smaller events. We had the DC event earlier this year. You were at our San Francisco event.
Yep.
We've got a Seattle event coming up August 8th in Seattle. So make sure you check that out off of Ideaa.io or BAMG/Ideaa.io/Seattle, I think is what it is. It's the Seattle Code Rush that's presented by Facebook. We'll have Cyanogen there and Kiddo EMR and a Twitter speaker or a speaker from Twitter.
Nice.
So yeah, that's going to be a pretty exciting event. We're pretty pumped about that. We've already sold a third of the tickets, so make sure you register. The day a part of the event is free.
Right.
It's similar to the I/O Extended, but it's more hackathon. We're not going to be watching streaming sessions, obviously. We'll have a couple of speakers at the beginning, then we'll let people go, and we'll have some clearly laid out challenges for people, and if they complete a challenge, they win a prize.
Right.
We're going to do some other fun stuff, and then we'll have a party in the evening, and the party's $25. That just covers food and drink.
Right.
Really.
And you're talking barbecue for $25. Yeah, that's
we're
a
actually
bargain.
we're actually doing something different this time. We're not going to do barbecue for the first time ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're still going to have meat because it's a meet and greet, but
right.
we're going to have 2 food trucks. So the problem was we couldn't find a smoker for Ray. Ray Walters is our chef, and I guess smokers just aren't common in Seattle. So we couldn't find a smoker, at least not one that was affordable or the right size.
Right.
So we found these 2 food trucks. One's a grilled cheese. They're called Wizards of Cheese. They're going to do some different types of grilled cheeses, like a bacon grilled cheese. They're supposed to be really good and really fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then we're going to have another food truck. I forget the name off the top of my head, but they're going to do, it's like a Caribbean food truck, and they're going to do jerk chicken. So that sounds good, too. I love jerk chicken.
Oh, man. Some good resources, brother.
Yeah,
good stuff,
we're gonna party, lots of good local beer, craft beer. We always have good beer. I pride myself on picking good beer. So
that's what's up. Because that Seattle area, that Washington State area with microbrews.
Yeah.
Oh, brothers.
Yeah. Well, I learned that at our very first, at San Francisco a year ago, we did a party for the extended. That was kind of our first outside of the BigAndroidBBQ event, and that one, I have friends that are really into beer too, so they were just like, "You gotta step up your beer game, man. You can't come to San Francisco without good beer." So that was the first time we had really good beer, was in San Francisco last year. And ever since then, it's been, steady, good quality craft beer.
Your buddies called you out.
Yeah. Hey, man, good friends, right?
I love it.
Good friends.
I love it. You've been doing this for how long? You said about 6 years?
6 years now, yeah. It's funny you were talking about I/O. That's where we met, but that's actually what inspired all of this. I was at Google I/O 6 years ago, and I/O's changed a lot for me. I've been every year since for the last 6 years. And
how has it changed?
It's lost that. So when I left that event, and I made friends that I still talk to this day. It changed my life. Now I've got a whole new career based on what came out of that event, and I just don't feel like it does that anymore. It's a little more stuffy, maybe a little more, but it wasn't stuffy this year really either. It was very open and playground-esque, but there's less of this networking opportunity. Maybe you just aren't. The connections aren't happening like they used to.
Really?
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't see it.
Does it seem like it's corporate more?
Yeah, it's grown up. Maybe, I don't know. It's stuffier is what I want to say, but that's probably not right either. I don't know. It's tough to say. I know most of the people now, so it's there's not an opportunity to meet new people because I already have met a lot of them. And
right.
So I don't really get the opportunity to meet all these new and exciting people with new and exciting ideas. So so maybe that's part of it. I've through the development of my career in this industry, I've gotten to know more people, and so I don't experience this really awesome getting to know all these really cool people because now I know them.
Right. So the Rolodex is pretty full now.
Yeah. So I guess it's not a bad thing. It's just weird. It's different for me. So I think next year I'm going to go again, but if I don't, I'll let somebody else go the next time.
Right.
I'll let one of my other team members go if they've never been, and see if they can maybe find somebody I don't know. Because also when you know a bunch of the people there, it's hard to meet new people because you're always talking to people right?
People, right?
Yeah, exactly. So even the people that work at Google now, I know those people. So I'm walking around talking to Googlers, and I'm like, hey, what's up, Colt, or what's up, Rito, and talking to them, and it's just different. It's just different. So. You want it to grow out a little more. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why I love to meet new people. Yeah, I love to meet new people. So that's it's lost some of that for me. But I think like I was saying, that might be part of my own fault. So but that was the event. That kind of feel, that connection, community feel that I took from that first I/O that I went to. Right. I thought there needed to be that for everybody because I/O at the time was $450. Plus you got to get to San Francisco. Plus you got to find a place to stay in San Francisco. Yep. It was $2,000 by the time you're done.
Oh yeah, it's a mint.
and I mean I can pull that off once a year, fortunately, because. Right. I'm in a good place in my life, I guess, but not everybody can, and I have not always been in that place. So a lot of times when I do stuff, I'm thinking like that, how can I cut every dollar? How can I save as much as possible? How can I make this accessible as close to free for everybody as possible? So like our very first event, I left there, I was like, there needs to be something like this for everybody that's cheap and easy to get to. Texas is easy to get to. It's right in the middle of the country.
Yep.
You know, you can fly from just about anywhere for $200 to $400.
Yep.
You know, our hotels are much cheaper here. You know, we're looking at $90 or $80 to $120 rather than $150 to $400 a night. You know, it's like totally different. It's just totally different. And so we planned that first barbecue. We did what we called a Big Texas Beta barbecue, and Twitter was the big thing at the time. What we were all using to kind of connect before everybody moved to Google Plus.
And what year was that?
This would have been 2009, I guess, 2008 or 2009. Yeah, 2009, because it's 2015, and this is the 6th year. So 2009, we were all on Twitter, and I was tweeting about it, and we were like, okay, let's see if we can get like 25 people. I was running Android swag at the time, which was like we did shirts and shoes and all that fun stuff, some of that stuff. And was doing pretty well, and I was like, I'll provide the shirts. Everybody pitch in like $25 for the food. We'll get all the food with that, and then bring whatever you want to drink. And everybody brought some beer, and it was like 25 people, actually I think we ended up with like 16 people in a backyard, and just had fun. We were all tweeting about it. We had the guys from Android and Me, which I don't know if that's still around or not, but it was a big Android blog at the time.
I remember that.
Yeah, and so they were there because they lived in Austin, and we had a great time. And it blew up on Twitter. Like, people were just like, you need to do this bigger and better. And so
Aaron, how crazy is this? You took an idea and said, y'all, let's go meet out in the backyard, and we're going to talk some nerd-tacular Android development stuff, have some good food, and have some cool guys, and we're gonna enjoy this thing. You did this in the backyard, and now you got this. Seriously?
Yeah, man, I'm crazy. let's just establish that I'm pretty crazy. When I say I'm going to do something, I do it. You know, if I'm passionate about it. There's been lots of things I've said I was going to do that maybe I didn't, but you know, I try to grow things slowly. That's one thing. This organization, like I said, we're 6 years old. We've grown slowly. We've done the same event every year, trying to do that better and better and better until we got it to a point where we thought we did a really great job with that, and decided it was time to grow beyond just that. And so, you know, I think that's a little bit different than the way most of the tech industry works now. You know, like now it's all grow as big as you can, as fast as you can, and deal with that later. And so you end up with a lot of these companies that they generate a lot of revenue, or maybe they don't generate any revenue, but they bring in a lot of investment money
stuff kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, they bring in a lot of investment money. They build this really big company with, you know, that's maybe worth $1 billion on somebody's paper, with, you know, 200 or 300 or 1,000 employees, and then they never actually do anything of real value, or they never really build a great company.
It's so sad.
Yeah, it is. And so, you know, we did it. We've never had anybody invest. Well, I originally invested, but I've already been, you know, paid back on the original investment. And, so everything has been kind of bootstrapped, self-funded. This year we converted to a nonprofit, which made things a little bit easier. You know, it's been kind of fun because now we're bringing in a little bit more money than we used to as far as sponsorship. So it gives us a little more flexibility to do these other events, and to do some more fun stuff with our attendees, and
other little benefits for the folks.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Someday maybe we'll even pay our employees. Who knows?
Wait a minute now, Aaron. Hold on now. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, right. Someday. Right. So like, you know, so that's a sensitive subject, but we're a nonprofit, so I can talk about, you know, money because it's public information anyways.
Of course.
So, you know, I've never been paid by this organization.
All right.
To this day, the only way I make money is by selling sponsors. So I actually have to be a salesman as well as running the whole organization to pay my bills. But it's fun, right? Like, it's
and that's the thing. I can see it all over your face that you enjoy getting into that mode, you know. And
the sales not so much, but yeah.
Oh, really? I would have begged to differ, my man. I can see it. How many people are on your team?
So we're up to about 16 now.
All right.
Well, we've got 7 officers who are the people who make decisions for the company.
Right.
We have a board of directors now, and there's 7 of us on that. We're in the process of setting up our board of advisors. We're going to have 7 on that, I believe, as well. Those will be non-employed, just advisory positions. They'll tell us what we're screwing up and what we're doing right. Hopefully, more what we're screwing up so that we can fix it.
Right.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always really driven home with my team is it's great to hear how good we did at stuff, but hearing that you did really good doesn't help you get better. And so we're always looking for where we can do better, what we did wrong.
From time
yes,
to time.
I love criticism. I love it. I eat it up. I've made some of my best friends because I handled their hard, direct criticism really well, and I've seen other people handle these same people's criticism in the opposite direction and get offended and defensive about it, and it's like, but they're just giving you their honest feedback, maybe not in the best tactful way, but there's opportunity to learn there and get better, and if you're not getting better, then you're getting worse, or you're standing still, and if you're standing still, you're basically getting worse.
This is true. Now, you said that doing I/O for the first time, it pretty much changed your life and got all of this rolling for you. And you also said that you wanted to try to give that same experience to other people out there that can't necessarily get to I/O. All right. So beyond attending a conference or a hangout, if you will, with Ideaa, what else do you guys offer for the development community?
So right now that's about it, but that's a great question, and I wish I could give you more information on it right now, but we're not ready for that. But that is definitely something we see as an opportunity for us to help the ecosystem or the community around Android, and as we broaden beyond Android, around developer education and advocacy. There is a community there of advocacy experts who are encouraging development, of educators who are helping teach development, and of developers who want to learn and communicate with each other and be part of that community. And so that's something we're definitely working towards. It's we're a nonprofit with unpaid employees, so things move slowly here, but we're trying to build that.
Yeah, and see, I asked that because when you just jump on the internet and go to website, what have you, and you go to the comment section of any particular post, you tend to notice different cliques of people together. And when you look at it from a development standpoint, you see that there's a gazillion different development communities, if you will.
Right.
And I've always wondered, why does that come off as such a segmented community when everybody is pretty much out to try to do the same thing, and they're trying to make some great products using ones and zeros? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I think some of that is the different languages. You've got different development languages, and different languages have different best practices. There's different hardware people are developing for, different software ecosystems that people are developing in. So there's some crossover. And then there's some area where there's no crossover, and so it doesn't make sense for maybe somebody who's writing kernel code to work with somebody who's writing Java Android apps or something like that. There's just not a crossover there as much. There might be. I don't know. I'm not a developer, so I probably shouldn't talk too much, but I definitely can see why, just kind of thinking about it in the language type of thing, maybe somebody who speaks one language or who codes in one language doesn't speak or code in this other language. And so there's not, it'd be like me trying to be in a community with people who only speak Spanish or Chinese or something, we just wouldn't be speaking the same language, and it'd be difficult to kind of foster that community feeling. But that doesn't mean there isn't some crossover, and there might be opportunity for us to help make those connections.
I look at the whole ecosystem battle out there. You have the Android ecosystem, you have the iOS with Apple's ecosystem, and then you have Windows, which is probably dead now.
I don't know. I think it's making a comeback.
You think so?
I think it's making a comeback.
I'm going to believe that when I see it.
I don't know about Windows Mobile, but Windows 10, I think, potentially. potentially could reinvigorate the Windows ecosystem.
But I look at those things, and part of me understands that from a business standpoint, it's nice to have your own particular product, your own particular brand, and to try to prosper from it. But at the same time, I'm thinking from a customer standpoint, what's going to make the customer happy? There's certain things inside of the Android world that the Android world does really well. And then there's things in the iOS side that it does really well. And the consumer always have to, have a give and take when it comes to their products, And I've always wondered about with different development communities is will there ever be conversations about getting that happy medium? The way people like the folks at BlackBerry pretty much just bolted their game and said, you know what, we just want some customers and we want some happy customers. So let's just try to hook into this Android world. We have some good ideas. We have some great patents. Let's try to do something and cross train or what have you. I don't know. Maybe it's just a pipe dream for me as a consumer.
I agree with you. It's not really working out so well for BlackBerry right now, but we'll see. It's tough because I'm with you. I think maybe we're hippies, but I feel like there should be like a happy, can't we all just get along?
Right.
Stop suing each other. Let's build awesome products for the future. And if you have a really great idea, let's use that really great idea. And maybe I have a really great idea to build on top of your really great idea, but I can't do that because you're going to sue me out of business.
You're going to sue me, you idiots. Yeah. Gosh, it kills me, man.
I think innovation. I mean, the U.S. is such an awesome place to live, right? Like we're one of the most innovative places in the world, but we could do better. We could do so much better.
We could. I wanted to ask you one more thing before we get out of here. When I was out at San Francisco, when I wasn't in the extended event, I would walk down to Moscone Center and just basically put myself in front of the attending developers and just ask them random questions, and I got some good stuff out of those developers. Nice. It was a lot of fun, but then I started looking around and just noticed you had a lot of folks from Asia, a lot of folks from Europe. I mean, it was such a diverse looking group of attendees there. But then out of the corner of my eye, I saw this group of little elementary school, middle school age girls. They were all together in the t-shirts and they had chaperones and they had badges, and I had to stop them. I won't mention their names on here, but I had to stop them and I had to ask, okay, who are you and why are you here? And basically it was a community to help bring in more females into the world of development and technology. Now, from a demographic standpoint, when you have all of your get-togethers with Ideaa, what does your demo look like? Are you starting to see a little more diversity come in? Or are you still just seeing, I hate to say it this way, the white guy from the north or the white guy from the west is in there to write code?
I'm so glad you asked that question. It's almost like I prepped you to ask that question, because that is, I'm not even joking. You didn't even put that in the list of questions you were going to ask, and I couldn't be happier that you asked that question. That diversity in tech is a huge, specifically women in tech, is a huge hot button right now, right? Like everybody's talking about that, and we've been looking at that issue for 3 years now. This will be our 3rd year of trying to actively get more female speakers and attendees. Are we a majority, middle-aged, 25 to 40-year-old white male? Yes. We are. We're a tech event, so yes, we are. Unfortunately, that's just how it is right now.
That's just how it is, yeah.
You can't flip a switch and change, make an industry diverse. You can't.
Right.
Now, we're taking a little bit different tact than most of other organizations are right now. So like you said, Google had brought out these kind of elementary, middle school aged girls to get them excited about tech, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're focusing on the people who will be entering tech rather than the people who are already in it, because if tech's not diverse, you can feature all of these women and minorities or different diversity people or people that would promote diversity, and you can feature them and advocate to them all you want, but if they're the people that are already in it, you're kind of preaching to the choir, right? Like, yeah, there needs to be more women in tech, and telling all the women in tech there needs to be more women in tech, they're like, yeah, there does. But you got to go get the women, right? You got to go get them when they're girls, before they become women.
Before they're women, right?
And so that's kind of where our focus has been. We're working with STEM schools. We're working with underserved neighborhoods, underprivileged neighborhoods. We're working with women groups. So women in tech. There's the Women Tech Makers group. Natalie Villalobos is from Google, who's the founder. We're working directly with her for the Big Android Barbecue. We're working with. We always work with the local Women Tech Makers groups for all of our events. Actually, I don't know if we did for DC for San Francisco, because they were already involved in I/O. But for DC, Seattle, and the Big Android Barbecue, we're working with the local Women Tech Maker groups. We worked with Lesbians Who Code in DC. We brought out some STEM school students. We had a couple of scholarship tickets where we helped the kids get out there and stuff like that.
That's
in
awesome.
fact, there's a really fantastic story about a kid in DC who came. He actually wrote us an email before, because we have a requirement for kids in order to come. If you don't have a guardian or an adult with you, you have to get a waiver signed. So we'll still let you come if you can get there on your own, but you have to have somebody basically waive us from liability.
Of course.
And that's just to cover our own butts, right?
Of course.
We just got to protect ourselves.
Right.
So we had this kid write, and he's like, look, I really want to come. I can't get the waiver signed. Like, I don't have a guardian that will sign the waiver. And so we actually had a meeting specifically to discuss this. And, did we want to take on the risk? Were we going to let this kid in? He was a middle school student, a black student. And so at the time we didn't even know that. It was just we had this kid who really wanted to go. Yep. So we decided, let's let the guy in. We want everybody there that wants to be there, and this kid really wants to be there, so we're going to get him in. He ended up winning a challenge. He ended up writing an app. He'd never written code in his life. He went back. Now we're one of my team members that's in DC is going to go do a presentation with him to talk about this app he built, and it changed his life. It really changed this kid's life just by letting him come to our event. Yeah, I get goosebumps just talking about it.
Oh man.
That's what motivates me now. It's totally changed from what it was, 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I just wanted something to bring people together and foster, community. Now I want to change the world, right? Now I want to change people's lives.
Yes.
And I feel like we're doing that, and that's what really excites me about Ideaa and 2016, 2017, and the future. We're going to change lives, and I have no doubt about it. So.
That's awesome. Well, Aaron, before we get out of here, tell everybody what's the next Big Android Barbecue event, when it is, and where it is.
So I'll hit on two. We've got the the Code Rush, the Seattle Android Code Rush, presented by Facebook, August 8th in Seattle. It's at the Impact Hub, downtown Seattle, pretty much. So if you're in the Seattle area, make sure you check it out. It's going to be a really fun event. We're going to do a lot of different stuff at that one, stuff we've never done before. It's going to be our first event with a real theme, and so the whole event will be kind of themed after this Code Rush theme. Seattle was a big part of the Klondike Gold Rush, so we're kind of playing on that. We're gonna have you'll be panning. We're gonna have panning for gold at the Seattle Gold Rush. Nobody knows that yet, so that's a leak. But awesome! I can't wait. And then October 22nd and 23rd is the Big Android Barbecue in Hurst, Texas. Flights are pretty cheap right now, and hotels are like $100 a night. They're $90 a night. I think $87 or $97 a night.
And I'm sure they're much better value than San Francisco and my little $100 a night hotel room that I stayed in.
And we're gonna have, I think, 16 speakers from Google. So it's gonna be a legit conference. Really great content. Lots of fun. Probably the most fun you'll ever have at a conference.
That's what's up.
We're theming. Excuse me. We're theming the Code Rush. We're theming the Code Rush in Seattle. That's kind of our test, because we're theming everything at the Big Android Barbecue. Nice. The theme is Android performance patterns with Google as the primary sponsor, so we're kind of going on a fast food theme, and we're gonna have lots of food. We're gonna have lots of fun with that. Lots and lots of fun with that. Like, yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's awesome, folks, man. Aaron, I really appreciate you sitting down with me and telling me a lot about Ideaa, man. This is good stuff.
My pleasure.
I had a good idea, but I really enjoyed some of the other inside information that you shared, and letting the people that are going to watch this video know that, you know, there's more to it than just writing code. There's a community behind all of this. You know what I mean?
I don't write code. I've never written code. Well, that's not true, but I've never really written code. I wrote an app when Android first came out, but it was like, it was the bullshit button. Like, literally, that's what it was. It was a button, and it would be like, bullshit detected. It was just something fun. And really, my roommate wrote most of it, so it's just my idea. So, yeah. I wrote a Hello World app too. That was about it.
Oh yes, the Hello World. That's the standard.
Stay tuned though. Thursday, we're making a big announcement. Our call for papers is going out today. It may have already gone out. I'm not sure. I don't have to do all that anymore, which is kind of awesome.
Wow.
So that's going out today or first thing tomorrow morning, and we have a big announcement coming Thursday, which I wish I could tell you right now because it is super exciting. I can't wait.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to be counting down and looking out for that. Better believe it.
Keep an eye out. It's going to be sweet.
All right. Thank you again, Mr. Aaron, for everything. Folks, we appreciate y'all taking the time to watch this. Be sure to click the like and subscribe button. Be sure to check out more content from me. Go over to anewdomain.net, or you can just check me out on my little social media biz, you know, that little thing they call Twitter, ant_Pruitt, or just go on over to Google Plus and search for Ant Pruitt. I'm the big bald-headed black dude on there. Thanks for watching, folks.
Thank you.